Hello and welcome to Carla Knits. Today's video is my monthly recap where I share the things that I've worked on, made, the yarns that I've used, and how am I doing with my yearly goals. So just a little bit of background. I have 3 Make 9 boards. The whole Make 9 challenge or make along is hosted by Aimee of Noble Character Crafts, where you create a grid of 9 projects that you'd like to work on throughout the course of the year. And you can post pictures of finished objects or your works in progress over on Instagram to be entered for prizes from her and from her podcast. So I thought I would really like to focus this year trying to use yarns from my stash, and I thought, okay, I will make some boards, you know, hopefully using my stash, having those projects paired with yarns from my stash. So I have 3 Make 9 boards, a Make 9 Whipboard, works in progress with projects that came over from last year, a Make 9 New Projects board, and a Make 9 sock board, strictly for socks. So I'm going to be talking about those today. I'm going to share the projects I completed, so we're just going to go ahead and get in. I've tried recording this intro a few times, and I keep starting and stopping, so hopefully we're just gonna go with this and hopefully this will all make sense. But so this is for the month of August. I have been sharing that I've been using this little journal with pages from a store on Etsy that has printable pages for a knitting journal, and I am using a calendar page, a yarn tracker page, and then a notes page just to jot some things down. So I have found this very helpful, and you sure could just do it in a notebook or some paper or any blank journal you could do. I've just found that this is something that I am really enjoying using this year. So for the month of August, I'll share, I had whips coming over from the month of July. So I had 2 pairs of socks on the needles, and I had a hat that I had started. My goal was to finish those items and swatch for and begin a crochet sweater, cast on a new pair of socks for my daughter-in-law, and make dishcloths with a skein of cotton yarn. So those were my goals for the month of August. So in the month of August, I did complete my vacation socks that I had started in July. So I completed those. And I completed a pair of birthday socks for an aunt. I completed this hat. This is the Hot Springs Willow hat. I have another pair of socks that I completed that I don't have with me at the moment, but I will be sharing those in the next podcast. So that was, socks for my daughter-in-law, Kelsey. And then I wanted to make dishcloths with the Queensland cotton yarn that I had gotten from a giveaway from Porch Fiber Company. And I shared these on the last regular podcast. I have 3 dishcloths that I made with that cotton. So those are the projects that I finished for the month of August. So so how many skeins did I get out of my stash? Let's talk about which ones came out. So 1 skein for the vacay socks, 1 skein for the socks for Aunt Gail. This is the hat yarn. This one right here is the dishcloth yarn. And then these are the socks. So you probably recognize those that Halloween color, the Halloween socks that I made for Kelsey. And I'm hoping you can see that clearly. I've enjoyed coloring in the circles with colored pencils to notate the kind of yarn that I'm using. So for this month, I used 5 skeins out. And I do have to tell you, I would love to be getting more yarn out of I love my stash. I guess I just wish I could produce more, but I'm only one person. And I need to remember I have to be happy with the progress that I made. And it's really not a race. I feel like sometimes I'm racing against myself to see how much yarn I can get out. But I need to calm down about that. But 5 skeins out of my stash is good. That's very good. And I'm happy to announce or to tell you that I did not bring any new skeins in this month, which is good because last month's was a little heavy on the skeins in, but no new skeins of yarn in this month. So I am very, very happy with that. So I mark off when I finish things in my journal. So, you know, I can see that I finished, you know, the socks, the hat, the dishcloths. Swatch for and begin the Chantilly top. That was the crochet sweater that I've talked about in the last few episodes. And I've kind of got a frowny face in my journal by that because that project has gone away, and instead I'm using that yarn for a new project, and that's absolutely fine. So I switched that project to a new summer top. And then going back to Make 9 boards, on my Make 9 boards from the last month's recap for the new board, I had completed 8 of 9 projects on that board. And I'll insert the picture here. And so I was really excited to start the final project, which was the Gusty cowl. And I had started that, and you know, I started it one evening. I kept looking at it the next day and knit a little bit more on it, and I decided I don't really like the yarn. I don't like this yarn for this project. The pairing just, I didn't like it. So then I switched my mind on that project. So for that Make 9 board, I'm scratching that cowl off, and in my mind I'm replacing it with, and I guess I could put it on the board, I'm replacing it with the shawl that I started, The Age of Brass and Steam. So there has been a change to that Make 9 new project board. So one final project, which is a different shawl. Looking at my Make 9 whip board, just talking about this, and this is going to go into some fall plans. My Make 9 whip board, I have completed 5 of those projects on there, and I'm really happy that I have those 5 projects completed. That leaves 4 projects. I'm gonna post the picture here. Something I really want to work on is that blanket, and I'm gonna show you here. And I've shared this before. This is the blanket that Jeff's grandmother had started, and I don't know when she started it, but she started this blanket and did not finish it, but passed it off to me. Sadly, she is no longer here, but she was an avid knitter, and I thought it would be very special if I could complete this blanket for Jeff for Christmas. Remaining in her knitting bag, she has 3 full skeins and a partial skein. Currently, it's not even quite a lap size, but I guess I could shorten it to a lap size, but I guess I'll see when I get started on it. I really do want to work on this, but when it's been so hot, I have absolutely no desire to work on something so big, massive, and heavy. I'm starting to see the weather turning, or at least we're trending downwards a little bit with those high temperatures. So, you know, fall is in sight. So I really do want to spend time with this. And I'm thinking I'm just going to have to, you know, pick a day and dedicate to working on this. I do work now. My summer vacation is over. And so my knitting and crocheting time has become limited, but I am going to persevere because I need to knit and crochet every day. That's what fills me up. So, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to pick a day and just say, okay, an hour, 2 hours, that's what I'm going to do. I don't really want Jeff to see it while I'm working on it because I do want it to be a surprise. So it's going to have to be a day when he's not home. So I am hoping to get back to that maybe sometime this month, but for sure in the beginning of October. So that's definitely coming up for my Make 9 Whipboard. I have a sweater, sort of a sweater. It's called the Pike Stout Poncho that is on there. This is something I started last year, and you can see I did not get very far. I only have part of that neckline ribbing. Since then, I have decided I don't really want to make that project. Couple things that I'm thinking why. That poncho was designed with someone shorter than I am in mind, and people have made modifications, so I certainly could do that. But I'm not entirely sure that I want to have a poncho. If I were clever enough to turn it into a sweater, which I probably could figure it out somehow, but with everything that's in my brain, I just don't have the brain power or the desire to sit down and try to figure out how to make it from a poncho into a sweater. The other thing I'm thinking of is I don't really want a thick double folded over neckline. I think I'm gonna get too warm. The older I get, the warmer I get, and maybe you can identify with that. So to have a double folded neckband, I'm thinking maybe that's not the best thing either. I really do like this yarn a lot. This is Wool of the Andes in the Lava Heather colorway, and it's a deep brown, and it has some bluish purples coming through it, and I don't know exactly how well it shows up, but I really do like this color very much. I just don't think I want it around my neck. And it is a woolly wool. This is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, so I think I would do better with it not around my neck. So I'm kind of thinking I would like to find a different pattern for this yarn, and I don't know if I would do it this year or kind of change it to my plans for 2025. This is a worsted weight. If you have a favorite worsted weight sweater pattern that you love, I would love to hear it. I do want it to be a pullover. And I have a couple ideas, but I would love to hear, you know, any ideas that you would like. You know, I'm thinking off the top of my head, a weekender. I have a weekender. I know I would enjoy another one. The Lento sweater, I think that's a DK weight, but I could maybe adjust it for this. I really did want a cable sweater. So, and the other reason, I guess, the Pike Stout Poncho, it's by Thea Coleman. I tried that hat earlier this year by her, and the cable work was really hard on my hands, and so I kind of scrapped that idea. So I'm a little nervous to try another Thea Coleman pattern on the poncho when I'm not too sure about a poncho to begin with. So those are kind of my thoughts on that. I hope I am making sense. Remaining on that Whipboard are two scrappy blankets. One is a DK weight blanket with squares. It's by the Cozy Up Knitting Sisters, Creative Advent Throw. And I don't think I'm going to get back to that pattern this year, but I would like to put it on my board for next year. The other one is the Scrappy Granny Square, which I worked on the squares in the month of December with some Advent minis, and I plan to do the same this coming December. So that's when that blanket will get worked on. I am running out of steam a little bit with my Make 9 boards. I will say that. I mean, my Make 9 new board, I only have one project left, but I guess I got a little discouraged when I wanted to scrap the one project. The Whipboard, you know, there's still several things on there. I've changed my mind about the sweater. The blanket for Jeff is a little bit daunting to me. You know, it's an all over cable pattern, but I really do want to do that, so I'm gonna really try. And then let's talk a little bit about my sock board. I picked 9 different sock patterns to make this year, and I have finished 5 of them, and that is great. But what I have discovered this year is that I kind of like doing my own thing with socks. So I have made a total of 16 pairs of socks this year so far, and only 5 of those are from my Make 9 board. So that tells me I could have made all that are on my board, but I've kind of deviated and just gone my own way and done my own thing, which is totally okay. For summer sock camp, specifically in those months, I completed, let's see, 5, 6, 7 pairs of socks during that time. And so if I make a sock board for next year, I'm definitely gonna maybe have to think about putting summer sock camp socks on there. That's something that didn't really register. Or maybe I will do something completely different. Like I would like to make 9 pairs of socks. I don't, you know, just 9 squares with sock pictures, because I definitely like to just kind of go where the wind blows as far as socks. And then there were 4 other pairs of socks that I knit. So 16 pairs of socks so far. Now, do I want to still work on the socks from the board? I still do like all of those patterns on the board and do want to knit them at some point. But I am feeling that, you know, we're getting to the last part of the year. So we're in the last third, right? September, October, November, December. We're in the last third of the year. I do have a pair of socks on my needles for someone for Christmas. I have at least one other Christmas sock knitting commitment that I want to do. And then will I get to any of those on the board? I don't know. I'm not sure. Of any from that board, I would like to probably do the worsted weight cable socks, and that is the country cabin socks by This Yellow Farmhouse. So I would like to do maybe that one, but I'm not sure if the others will get worked on this year. So that's why I say I'm kind of running out of steam a little bit with my Make 9 boards. I think I've been pretty good this year about working on those things. I'm really happy with the progress I've made, but we'll see. I mean, this is how I'm feeling today. It's September 2nd. We'll see how I feel in another month if things change. But let's talk about my plans now for the month of September. So I shared, you know, what happened in August. For September, here are the whips that I have coming over. I have the luminous summer top. That's that sage green top. And I really would like to get that done this month. I've really enjoyed working on that top in August. The Age of Brass and Steam shawl is coming over. I have a pair of socks that I haven't showed yet on the podcast that I would like to complete. And then I have a Scrappy Marl hat. We're in the middle right now of our we're at the end of our Labor Day hat make-along. Maybe I'll finish today. I'm still hoping I'll finish my hat tonight, but those are the 4 things that I have coming over. So from that, for sure, this is what I would like: the summer top, the socks, and the hat. I would love to finish those 3 items. If I was able to complete the shawl, that would be a bonus. That would be great. In addition to those things, I would possibly like to cast on another pair of socks for someone for Christmas. I kind of want to do another hat. I've enjoyed working on the hat for Labor Day, so I might want to work on another hat. And then I've got work on that blue blanket if the weather turns cooler. And then I've also got work or make a fall cozy. So I'll just put a little plug in here. I shared this on the last regular podcast episode. We're going to do a fall cozy swap. So a cozy is the little knitted covering that could go on a coffee cup, or you could button it around your mug, and I would pair you with somebody, and then you would each make a cozy of some kind for your partner. And if you wanted, you could include a few other little things, but that's not necessary. The cozy is the only thing. So I have heard from a couple of you, but if you would like to join in making a fun fall cozy, it's such a small short-term project. You could knit it, you could crochet it. Please let me know. Send me a message on Ravelry. Send me a message in the comments. I will say probably for US only, just because of shipping costs. So you can let me know about that. But that's another project, that I would like to work on this month. All right, let's see if there is anything else I need to share. I think I have covered everything. I feel like this little video has kind of been all over the place. I hope it has been clear, but you know, if it has been a little chaotic, welcome to Carla's brain and the way I think. I kind of am, you know, bopping from one thought to the next. But 5 skeins of yarn out in the month of August. I enjoyed all of those projects that I made. Looking forward to continuing my projects in September. Maybe working from my Make 9 boards, or maybe getting away from them a little bit if other things, you know, come up that I would like to work on. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. I truly appreciate each and every one of you for supporting this podcast, for liking, for subscribing, for encouraging me through the comments or through messages. You know, if there's a way I can encourage you in your crafting journey, please do let me know. I'd love to hear what you're working on. Do you have a lot of remaining plans for the fall that you'd like to get through? Or are you still Christmas gift knitting? Please let me know what you're working on. I would love to hear about that. So take care, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye-bye.